My skin is black.
What you looking
My
at?
skin is black.
I feel so good to be black right now.
Welcome to episode 41 of the BlackNFashion podcast. If you're looking on live, thank you guys for tuning in. But by the time you hear this episode, it will be New Year's Day. This is our New Year's special. And I thought that starting off the new year and starting off 2020 is a good time for our small businesses and our young entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs to get their businesses together. And, we wanted to do I'm doing a Q&A today. And I want you guys to break out a pen and a paper. I want you to pay attention. If you need to rewind, listen to this episode and get your business together in 2020, okay? So today I have with me Jaleesa Esq. She is a fashion designer. She is an attorney, and she is an alien. And we'll have her explain all of that and where that came from. So how I like to start off is just like a little icebreaker. It's called This or That. And our This or That segment is sponsored by 620 Style. I'm actually wearing our blazer. I love her brand so much, I call it mine. Her Blaze blazers, and you can get this on her website at 620 Style. It is made of a French terry. Everything is manufactured right here in NYC. It is a small business. It is black owned, and it is girl power. So she has great separates and pieces, very comfortable and luxurious, and you can get an additional promo, 20% off your purchase by using code BlackFashion. So this or that, boom. Fedoras or berets?
Ooh. Berets.
Mules or wedges?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That one's hard.
Gotta pick one.
Mules or wedges? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say mules, just because everyday life kind of situation.
Flare leg or straight leg? Or skinny leg?
Skinny.
Midi or mini?
Midi.
Midi. Okay. All right. I love side boob or under boob. With the dresses or the shirts, you never know. One or the other. Which
side boob.
Okay.
There's too much boobs to do the under boob trick. It's a lot going on
and
over
last
here.
one, Bardot, which is, of course, off the shoulder, or one shoulder. How much? You want half a collarbone or you want all a collarbone?
All collarbone. Give me all clavicle. Okay?
Love. Okay, so let's jump right in, Jaleesa. All right. So tell us a little bit about your background, like where you grew up and like where you're from.
Okay. So hi, everyone. I am Jaleesa Johnson. I grew up in Brooklyn. I call myself the alien in the room. I got that name kind of just from being that person that stuck out like a sore thumb. Oh, so nice. I was just like, you have the elephant in the room. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I'm the alien in the room. I'm the person that looks different.
Love.
So I created like a whole brand around being different and unique. And that's when I basically started my own clothing line based around unique fashion, weird, different, just telling people that you don't have to be the status quo. Because honestly, I started my whole social media journey career feeling like there wasn't anyone out there that represented my look. Mm-hmm. It was around the time when Fashion Nova was blowing up and everybody was in skin tight dresses, and I was just like, wait, I'm not wearing that on a daily basis. I'm not like that. So alien in the room is just supposed to be unique, be yourself. You don't have to look like everyone else.
Love that.
But I grew up in Brooklyn. I went to law school in New York. Well, I guess my law school career is a little shaky as well because I did a year of law school in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow.
First.
Nice.
Yeah, because I had the travel bug. I thought I was going to get a whole lot of traveling done. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, I just wanted to come back home. And I realized that the law that I was learning in Sydney wouldn't be applicable if I ever decided to come back home.
Gotcha.
It was I would have to teach myself all over again. And law school's already 3 years as it is. Ooh. So, you're right. So I was just now to do that all over again.
True.
So I did a year of law school in Australia. It still taught me a lot, growing, being an adult, maturing. I learned to cook over there. There was things, growing pains. And then I went to law school in New York at Cardozo Law School. Nice. It's on 14th Street. It's a good law school if you are interested in entertainment, fashion, arts, media. We're like one of the top programs in the country for that.
Nice.
And I went to law school there.
Were you always interested in law? Like, was there any like inspiration behind that?
So technically, I guess I have a story about that, because technically when I was growing up, I said I wanted to be an artist.
Okay.
And I had like a family member, not that close, but a family member tell me artists don't make any money. So from then on, I was like, okay, well, I guess everyone knows the stereotypical jobs, which jobs make money.
Doctor,
and I was
lawyer.
like, lawyer, doctor. And I was like, after that, I realized I was scared of blood. So I'm like, I can't be a doctor, so I'm going to go ahead and be a lawyer.
Right.
And at that point, I was watching a lot of SVU. I thought I was going to be a criminal lawyer. Mm-hmm. But I realized my whole life, I've kind of just been this creative person, and I've always led up to fashion. So it turned out that when I went to Cardozo, there was just a good fashion law program. There was good programs for the FAME department. Sorry, fashion, arts, media.
They make you take the LSATs there?
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, yeah, I had to take the LSATs for US, and I mean for Australia too.
Gotcha.
But it just worked out, and now it took me some growing to realize that I liked fashion and I liked law. Just not the way it's taught, because no one likes the way that law is taught.
Right. And you just figured out a way to combine the two. Okay.
Yep.
So what would you say was your biggest struggle when you first started out?
In law school, or you mean just in
general, like combining the law, combining the artist part of it? Like, what was your biggest struggle starting out?
I think, well, first of all, we always have to be cognizant of like Black people in those kind of spaces, especially in legal traditional careers, because they want you to look a certain way.
Of course.
So I found that I missed out on even opportunities in law school just for the fact of being Black, and like if I wore my hair a certain way, they didn't like that.
You wore
like,
it
if a natural state,
they
didn't like that. So I guess trying to still be an expressive person. I like my wigs. I like pink. I like being neon bright, and just doing that in a traditional sphere like law. It's kind of.
I'm getting like Legally Blonde vibes.
Yeah,
but Black girl.
But that's what my shirt says. It says Elle Woods but Black.
Oh, right. I love that. I need one of those.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's jump like into like the business part of it. So when you're first starting out, how crucial is it to like get your business like registered? Like, do you think this is something that should be done first, or like should you wait till you're making money?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think that you should wait till you start making some money. Not gonna lie, because I mean, I understand that everybody wants to take important legal steps, but I think that before you take legal steps, you have to think, oh, sirens going. You have to think.
We're not gonna hear it though. But
We just hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think you also have to remember that at the end of the day, you're an artist, and artists, we change our minds so quickly. Mm-hmm. So imagine going about the process of registering your business, and then all of a sudden you've changed your name.
True.
Like, I know when I opened my business, the Alien in the Room business, I restructured my whole business within a week, because I realized certain things wasn't working.
Gotcha.
So what was the point of like registering an LLC at that time? You're still working on making some money. And I understand like an LLC gives you some credibility. It makes you look like a business. Mm-hmm. But just from like a personal standpoint, I think you can wait like maybe a year. And a lot of times businesses fail in the first year.
And you're still trying to figure out what's working, what's not working, business structure wise. Absolutely.
So yeah. I see waiting for some profit to go ahead and make that decision. Gotcha. But the reason I do have like an Alien in the Courtroom series on YouTube, that's how you found me.
Yeah.
And in that series, I'm aiming at helping young entrepreneurs make better legal decisions. So the whole point of that series is, even if you can't afford to make the legal steps just yet, it's just to keep certain things in the back of your mind so that you're at least setting yourself up for a better position later on,
That makes so much sense. Yeah. I think I did that too.
Yeah.
I started working within my, because I started off with a clothing line. Yeah. Yeah, and I did get it like all incorporated in S Corp and stuff like that, but I had been doing it for a couple of years before I had actually started.
And that's the standard.
The same way with my consulting business. Like I started, let me get it going, let me see how structure is going, then I can figure out where I want to go with it. So
a lot of people, and you're not missing out by doing that. A lot of companies start that same way, and they're still Fortune 500. 500 companies.
And I thought that's what I wanted to make sure. That was my first question because I get that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to get my LLC together. Then I'm gonna come back to you and we can get started. I'm like, no, we
No,
can get started.
started.
Let's start making product. Let's get some stuff out there, and then we can figure out the whole structure of it because you might change your mind.
Exactly.
But I was like, let's get someone.
Let's get started.
Let's get started. Let's get to moving.
I think people really want all the bells and whistles attached, but they're not focused
They want
on
the
doing the
EIN.
work.
They want the
Yeah.
EIN so they
Yes,
can
the
buy
taxes.
wholesale, like especially with like people who do
True.
Yeah, who do wholesale, who do like boutiques and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But there's a lot of like things you could buy wholesale like without even having like an EIN number.
Yeah,
and you could just,
definitely.
especially in the garment district in New York City, and then the wholesale, they walk right on and then just get whatever you need.
Right.
Does not matter. Okay, that's funny. So let's discuss like some of the different business structures. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't matter which one you want to start with, but just like the differences between like a sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, S corp, and stuff.
Yeah, so I have my notes out for this because
Let's-
this is
yes,
very
prepared.
extensive. And this has definitely to do with like tax law because that determines how the business structure that you pick determines how you're taxed because most people want tax benefits.
Of course.
And you want to reduce your liability and the risks associated with your business. So this is very extensive. This is a deep topic. I think I'm gonna try to do a video about this as well, but
Take your notes.
yeah, take some notes.
Take some notes.
A sole proprietorship is basically the most basic form of business, and that's really what you start out with as soon as you start. So as soon as you start making business or designing, you're a sole proprietor by default. It means that you're not a separate legal entity from your business. So whatever mistakes, losses, debts that your business incurs, you incur as an individual yourself. And the IRS is going to come after you for your own personal taxes. And most of the time when you're a sole proprietor, you really want to make sure that you're keeping your company's assets different from your assets, separate bank accounts. And then so that's about like a sole proprietorship, very simple. A general partnership and a limited partnership, those are when there's multiple people involved in your business. Sorry, I'm getting out of the microphone. And it's also pretty simple because it also doesn't separate your liability either. You still have to account for your business debts, and you really want to make sure that both partners are acting within the best interest of the company. Sometimes you'll find that partners will go about and they find the business has a deal and the partner might usurp the business's deal, and that's not okay. You can get sued for that. But you're liable for the loss. And really what a general versus a limited partnership is, a limited partnership helps you
Like a silent partner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. A limited partnership means that they don't have as much control in your business as a general partner would. So they make different legal decisions. Like a limited partner wouldn't really make legal business decisions. They're
Gotcha.
kind of like just like an investor. Maybe.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then the most popular one for small businesses, which is probably what most people always ask, is do I need an LLC? And an LLC comes in different forms. There's a single member LLC where it's just you, and then there is a multi-member LLC, and they're also determined by the IRS to be a sole proprietor. So basically, you're taxed as if the business is you. Like you're all together. You're separate from legal problems, but you're still combined in terms
It's
of
a tax.
business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So for taxes, you're still liable, but you're separate for like legal problems. Like if you've done something illegal or copied or someone, and they'll sue the business. They're not suing
And
you.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. And then I forgot it.
Oh,
Dang it.
I'm talking too long.
No, you're fine. No, you're good. It was about. Girl, to come back to me. Keep going.
Okay. And then for LLCs, when you apply for an LLC, you have to have an operating agreement.
Figured it out.
Okay. You figured it? What was it?
Question was, when it comes to with the LLCs, if you were attempting to take out a small business loan, they would be looking at your personal credit. Got it. Cool.
Right. Because you're still liable
Liable.
tax-wise,
Gotcha.
not legal-wise. And then you move on to like corporation, which is the next one, which is, I guess, is kind of similar to an LLC, but that's where you have what you hear about on Wall Street. You'll have shareholders, you'll have a board of directors, and you'll have officers who are like responsible for day-to-day management activities. And then you have the differences between like an S Corp and a C Corp. And that just really dictates how like the business is taxed. Most small businesses do go about S Corp, and that's what you have.
And another question that interjects in there.
Yeah.
A S Corp can't own a LLC.
No.
A super corp can own a LLC.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's just really about taxes again, because all of these business structures are just really mostly about tax law.
Gotcha.
So you definitely want to consult like a tax accountant, a tax lawyer. A lot of people had like these kind of questions, and I'm like, I can go over basic structures, but you definitely need someone to look into your documents for that to determine.
So would you recommend LegalZoom? Because they have like
Yeah.
little monthly things and
they
stuff like that. Do you
do.
like to go to them, or do you think it's better to go to someone in person?
No, I think you can definitely do a lot of things yourself. I think a lot of people are wary about seeing legal documents online, but they are actually what law school students will use themselves. We'll use the same resources. So there's LegalZoom. I'm trying to think of some other. Did I write down one? Well, I know Forbes had a really great article about business structure. I looked that up. There is some other legal. I'm trying to think. I'm like blanking. Charity might know what I'm talking about.
LegalZoom. Well, no. When we figured out, we could put it in the show notes.
Yeah, I can't. I'm blanking on the words, but we get contracts and like basic templates and stuff from those same websites as well.
So then use them.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Because people
use
was like, I don't know, LegalZoom's like it's a scam, and I'm like, nah, I think they're pretty good. I didn't do mine like, and when people ask me for advice, I'm like, I did mine, but I S Corp mine in 2013.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I've been at S Corp going on 9 years. I'm sorry, 6 years because it's 2019.
Did you do that yourself?
No, so let me tell you what I did, which is very interesting. I contacted the department at the John Marshall Law School because I'm from Chicago, and I went to school in Chicago. So I was in my last year of design school, and I contacted the John Marshall Law School, and they had a program, and their senior law students would have to put together a business.
That's what we did.
So I contacted them, told them what I wanted to do. I'm like, I want to be a designer, and then they asked me. I set up a meeting with the students, and I had 2 students that was assigned to mine.
We have
that's why you gotta use your resource.
Please use that resource.
My dad told me about it. He's like, you need to call John Marshall Law School, and you need to do this. And I thought he was. At first, I thought he was crazy. And I'm like, ain't nobody gonna do all that, but. He was on me about it, and I finally hit them up, and they took on my project.
And they do it for free.
Exactly.
Everything is for
They
free.
did everything for free, so they created I told them everything I wanted. They created my contracts for me, because I started off doing like custom apparel. Right. So they did that for me, and then I said, like, eventually I want to grow my company, so we decided that an S Corp was going to be the best for me. That way I could have shareholders, and they broke it all down to me and the differences, and I utilized them, and they did all the filing with the state and stuff like that. They went down because it was like actual paperwork, so I had to go and sign it. And give them like a check just to register. They wasn't for them, but for them to register with the state. And they did everything for me. Got my EIN number for me, like everything. So utilize your resources. Like there is so many law schools and ones that focus on business. You can actually get your entire. I got a whole corporate binder. Girl. They set me up for success.
For real, okay.
Gave me stock certificates to issue when I do start selling, which I did. I sold my first share. My company in 2015 when I moved here.
Oh wow!
I sold some to my friends, sold some to my dad. Yeah, so like I kept it in the family, but sold to my friend and my dad. And I have one other person that I sold to that wasn't a friend, but they set me up like
that's dope.
Good.
That's
I was like,
really
come
good.
on, y'all.
Listen, my law school does the same exact thing. If you're in New York, you could go to Cardozo Law School. Well, we definitely at the moment we work with FIT students and we help them build their businesses. The same exact thing that you're explaining. Like it's in our fashion law class, so usually we take like a semester of fashion law, and then there's the fashion law practicum. I was actually the TA for the fashion law practicum, so I was helping students like behind me, like I was a senior helping juniors basically help their clients with their own business. And that's why I realized I was like, okay, I can make this a series because I can basically talk to the world about what I was talking to with my individual clients.
Love
So
that.
they will definitely help you set up your business for success, and they love it because it feels like their first opportunity of being a real lawyer.
Yep.
Like that was my favorite class in law school.
So
They'll
if they
love
were
it.
going to do that, who would they contact? Just like someone in that department?
Yes, you can contact the FAME department at Cardozo Law School, and you can contact, well, the director of the Cardozo's FAME department is Professor Barbara Colson. Oh, I meant to bring the textbook for you and I forgot, but she basically wrote the textbook on fashion law, and it's like a fashion designer's guide to fashion law, and it's very simple.
Just be able to
and
gonna put that in the
easy to
look at me. I'm like, we gonna put that in the
Right,
show
I was
notes.
like, I was supposed to bring it to show you, but
No
put
problem.
It in
Let
the
me put
show
it in there,
notes.
and that way I can buy it too. What's the name of it?
The Fashion Law, a Designer's Guide to Fashion Law, or something.
Okay,
I think it's something like that. But it's by Barbara Colson.
Barbara.
And then Colson is K-O.
Oop, I was off.
Yeah.
K-O.
L-S-U-N.
Got it.
It's
Okay,
a
yeah. I'll be
perfect
buying
book.
that today.
No, it's perfect. It's easy to understand, and she's the G in this. Like, she is the head fashion law professor. That's it. And
Okay.
she-
Oh, I'm
we
gonna
have
mess.
her in New
Oh,
York.
yeah, we're gonna get in tune with her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Perfect. So, what are the differences between trademarks and patents, and how does this benefit you as a designer? When I tell you I get this freaking trademark question more than anything in the world.
No.
I'm not tired of y'all
you sound
asking me because
tired.
I love you. I love my clients. I love my viewers. However, I really need you guys to understand the process it takes to get something patent and to get something trademarked.
Facts.
And people always want to do it at the forefront.
Very
But is
game.
somebody really finna steal your
When you just
your
started,
logos that you just started?
just
You want? Cause I
started.
find a lot of people want to trademark first, and I'm like, what you trademarking? What are we trademarking? Wait, let's slow it down. So just
Yes.
please, Jaleesa.
Oh, I love
please
it.
explain the difference between.
this is my bread and butter. Okay,
Like,
I
yes,
love talking.
this is my favorite question. I'm just like, please, people tune in. Trademarks and patents. Take the floor.
Best part. Okay, so trademarks are what we refer to as marks are words, logos, product shapes, slogans, taglines, even colors. All of those distinctions or things are called marks, and they're meant to protect your brand, basically. So think of words, slogans, logos. Those are what we call trademark. But how a trademark really functions is that you have to choose like your slogan or your phrase plus whatever product that or you're selling or service that you're selling. So a popular example, I just used the example of like Rise and Shine, Kylie Jenner. She's trying to use that with clothing, right?
Rise and shine.
Rise and Shine. She's trying to use that with clothing.
Okay.
So you can't just trademark Rise and Shine and it's gone forever. You have to trademark it in connection with clothing.
Okay.
So that's how you are able, that's the reason why brands are able to have like the same name but be in different markets. So when you think about like Dove soap and Dove chocolate, they're not owned by the same people, but they're using the word Dove in two different markets. One would be in like the chemical cleaning supply market, and one is obviously in the food industry. So because trademarks work in classes of like 45 classes, anything that you have, any name, logo, slogan, it has to fit in that 45 classes. So that's what a trademark is. The application for a trademark isn't too expensive, but the good thing about a trademark is that it lasts forever as long as you continue to use it in commerce. Like you have to be actively using it. When you first apply for a trademark, it lasts like 10 years, but within the first 5 to 6 years, you have to renew it. You have to state that you're still using that trademark. And then after that, you own it forever. After the 10 years, you renew it again. You own it forever, and as long as you continue to use it in commerce. And you asked about patents. So
Because a lot of people, I find that there's a lot of designers who feel like they want to patent something, but I'm always like, are you the first to do it?
Yes.
It requires, I feel like patents require a lot of research. A lot of research, knowing if you are the first to do it, which I highly, I ain't stomping on no one's dreams, but I highly doubt it. And you would have to patent like a pattern, like an entire silhouette. You didn't invent the miniskirt, you didn't invent the midi dress, the palazzo pant, like a lot of this stuff has been done over and over again. So I do feel like it's a longer process and it takes more time, where you should just be focusing on your design opposed to trying to patent something.
That
but
part.
I'm gonna let Jaleesa tell y'all this because y'all don't listen to me. I said it 100 times.
You said it.
I've said it 100 times.
Everything that
go
needs
to the bread aisle. How many
breads?
breads are in the bread aisle? Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and whether they're trying to copy you or not copy you. When we all know that imitation is the best form of flattery. Period. But
real designers know that imitation is going to happen no matter what. You can't concern yourself with what someone is copying you. You have to move on to the next collection.
Absolutely.
That's why a lot of these big name designers aren't concerned with doing a lot of like legal protection for their designs, unless it's like their monogram or their logo. They're not really all of that concerned.
And
about
they're two different customers.
Copying.
My designer friend, this purchased and ready wear, and then Fashion Nova's recreating it. That's not the same customer. They two different people. They're at two different points in their life. Exactly. And they're at two different like
price
economical
brackets.
status, financial status. Like, oh, Fashion Nova's gonna copy my stuff. The Fashion Nova shopper can buy that, but your customer is not the Fashion Nova shopper. We should always have a difference there. But go ahead with these patents.
I love when you go into the little rant.
I have my rant sometimes because I just like, I want to choke.
I'm like, you are so knowledgeable because you understand that, like, and you learn that, like, these are two different types of customers. You have to keep that in mind. Yes, you feel like you're missing out on that sale, but that customer was never going to purchase it from you to start with. It wasn't going to happen.
Ever.
Two different things.
Now, the patent process is a longer process.
Right now. Okay, so about a trademark process is kind of long as well, because what they do is they go through all the records and they make sure that there's nothing like that can confuse customers. They want to make sure that your mark isn't any bit similar to another mark in the same industry. So that's kind of long, but not as long as a design patent. And that's why a lot of businesses don't go, like fashion businesses in particular, they're not really that concerned about design patents, because a trademark lasts forever. A design patent only lasts 14 years from the date of issue. So that's 14 years of being able to stop someone from doing your designs. But after that, it enters into the public domain. Anyone can do it.
Is it super expensive?
And it's super, super expensive, okay? Patent lawyers get paid money. And honestly, a trademark is probably something that you can do yourself, but a patent application, like, you really want a patent lawyer to be on your side, because they get very technical with the words. And then when it comes to a patent application, you want to make sure that you don't claim too many elements of your design, because you want to be able to have some flexibility in what you use your base design for. So you can really go wrong there. And because it's so easy to mess up there, you don't want to get denied right away. Definitely lawyer. But a design patent, it protects the ornamentality of non-functioning features of your art or whatever. And when it comes to fashion, the reason that design patents don't work so well is because design patents aren't made to protect functioning things. And by the Patent and Trademark Office standards, clothing is a functional item. Clothing is something that people use to clothe themselves, like you can't walk around naked. So clothing is usually considered functional. And you're not, and again, like you said, you're not the first person to create the mini skirt. You're not the first person to create any asymmetrical hem or split. So you don't really have a lot of protection for the way that a garment is cut. Maybe you can have like a design patent for the type of fabric.
The fabric, yeah.
If it's
I was saying that. And especially if you're, I would say if you're good, if you paid attention in textiles and chemistry class.
That part.
Because you create a textile that is, water wicking or absorbent or something that is like resistant to like stains. So if you create a textile, and of course it could be a textile that you created along with having like your logo on top of it. But throwing your logo on top of some silk you didn't live it silk.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? But like if you
Gold.
create like a whole nother technical blend of fabric or whatever, and you develop this on your own and include your logo
That's
in
what
this,
patent is
that's
for.
what the patent is for.
That's
but
what a patent is for.
You getting your fabric from the fabric store, you better go on.
Right, exactly. So most of the time, your logo, you want to keep it in the trademark category, maybe in the copyright category. And then when it comes to design patent, I always think of like Rihanna's creepers are actually, you know, the Puma creepers, they're actually design patent.
Yeah.
But you have to think like that took a lot of work because the patent office has to look very extensively into what we call prior art. And prior art is just scouring the earth for where Rihanna got the creepers inspiration from.
Facts.
It's a lot in the process. So most of the time people just throw out patent because they know the word but they don't really know how it's used.
Exactly. Well, you heard it here.
Definitely.
Get your notes.
And you said also that patent has to be new. Patents need to be new, non-obvious, and not useful. So there you
New,
go.
non-obvious, and non-useful. Got it.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all notate that.
Design patent.
So let's go into our fashion story segment. And our fashion story segment is actually sponsored by Adorn Harlem. It is a beautiful new beauty salon in Harlem. It's actually right on the corner of 136 and Adam Clayton Powell. They specialize in natural hair care, weaves, and body. You name it. I actually get my hair done there. Can't tell today because I have my hair wrap on, but I have an appointment on the 31st to get slayed for the gods. I'm getting me a sew-in, but I've been working, I've been going to Adorn for a little over 2 years now. All of the stylists in Adorn are great. They all are very specialized in color, natural hair care, doesn't matter what your texture is, and they all are weaveologists. So if you want to sew in, you want an HD frontal, you want micro links, Adorn Harlem is where you need to be. I'll put all their information in the show notes, and then on the next episode you'll be seeing me swing my bundles. My birthday's this week, so
is it?
yeah, it's actually next Saturday, and I'm going away, so I'm about to get this vacation here.
Hey, where you going?
I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna get
I've
this,
never been.
I'm gonna get this. This is my first time too. Gonna get this vacation here, but it's like right now this scarf ain't doing me no justice. But it's okay. So our fashion story segment is called "It's a Success or It's a Disaster." So it's basically like, you know, anything you want to share that you maybe went through, like with a client or like opening your brand, or something that you learned that taught you something. Whether it was a disaster that turned into a learning experience, or it was an amazing success that turned into a learning experience, like just like along your career.
So my personal career. Oh, but you said also a client.
It could be a client, a customer, or just something you learned, like being a designer, or I had a
couple things come to
Yeah,
mind.
because I had one girl. She said she designed these underwear, and then she put chains on them, and she realized the chains didn't stretch after the production wasn't done, so no one could wear the panties.
Oh my god.
So she's like, I wasted all this money making these panties that nobody could wear. So she's like, now I learned from it. So like, think about utilize all thoughts when it comes to design. Like, these panties are beautiful, but who the heck can get them past their knees?
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. So I'm like, but that was a learning experience for her. So if you have anything just like on your design or in your career period.
Yeah, definitely. The first thing that comes to mind is, so before I actually had a first business that failed. Yeah, before Alien in the Room is definitely a big success compared to my first business. I definitely gave up on myself quickly, but in my first business, I was trying to, this is before I had any law school experience. I was in college. I had no idea what was going on. And I wanted to create the kind of like, I was working on like phone cases, and then I thought I was a branch out or whatever. So I definitely contacted Alibaba, AliExpress to go ahead and get these wholesale things going, right?
Gotcha.
But the way that works even is that you have to pick, like, say, so for iPhone, like iPhone 5, you have to get like 100 of those. You have to get 100 of the 6, 100 of the 7. And obviously, then it comes into the issue of like all phones are obviously not one size fits all.
Of course.
So it was the same kind of problem where, you have to pick small, medium, large, figuring out how much of that. I had that issue with picking out like whether I needed to get iPhones versus Androids and what models and stuff to get. So I ended up with like this 100 of phones that no one wanted that model. So I just had,
it was an older model?
Yeah, like because I was starting out like a long time ago. So and iPhones come out so quickly. So that by the time that the person has an iPhone 7, now iPhone 8 is out. So it was just having inventory upon inventory. Now I realize like there's definitely other ways to do a business like print on demand, which is basically what I'm doing to complete my business. But wholesale definitely screwed me up. I had no idea.
That wholesale world, they call it sometimes a bad buy. Yeah, bad, but like just like picking the wrong things or picking too much and just having too much inventory to sit on.
Yeah, that was a mess. That was a mess.
Well, we learned something from it. That's all that matters.
But when I think of for a client, like I just wanted to share it also because I know people also have questions. Thank you about like trademarking. I talked about this in episode 2, but a lot of fashion designers like to call their collection after themselves, and I definitely like caution people, any fashion designer out there, if you're thinking about calling your business after yourself, especially after your business makes millions of dollars and it blows up, you want to be careful because most likely when you've put shares in and you're selling to a third party, you're no longer going to own your name.
Like Donna Karen. Like Marc Jacob.
Yep.
It's a whole bunch of them. They all own, like, I mean, LVMH Group and PVH, they own, like, a lot of these companies now. But a lot of these designers that started off with their name don't own their name anymore. A lot of them are under another umbrella. Even, like, McQueen from Alexander Wang, a lot of them don't own their names anymore.
A lot of them end up regretting it. I mean, just so you know, so you're aware, because it does happen often, and that's what we find a lot of times. Like what we do at Cardozo, we really make sure if you want to name this after yourself, just know you might down the line you might not have to share this anymore.
Kate Spade didn't own hers either when she died.
She ended up changing her name legally to her new collection's name. So she changed it to Kate Valentine just to match with the collection. But once you've lost your name, you can't market whatever new thing you did with your name. Right. So that's a client, I guess.
And then once they own the name, they can sell the licenses to different companies and licensing. I work for a licensing company, and I do BB, but I only do BB sleepwear. Yeah. And they can take those names and they can sell, like, there's a person that down the hall from us that does like BB handbags, and that's a completely different company. So the names out there can go to so many different people. I do Tahari sleepwear. I do Kathy Ireland sleepwear. I do Nanette Lepore, Lamaze. I have all these. I work for a licensor, and I'm a product manager there. So we create and we design for all of these different brands.
You're so busy.
Yeah, girl.
She's so busy.
New York is expensive, yo. You got to have a lot of forms of income. Right. So yeah, like, and then once they, someone else owns it, but of course I have to go and get approvals from the licensor. But I'm not. Someone's asked me. I used to work for G3. Now G3 owns a license for Karl Lagerfeld and Calvin Klein. And I made the handbags, but we still had to send it to PVH because PVH actually owns the Calvin Klein name, but they license the bags to us. So, but we still have to send stuff to them for approval to get the final approval. But they don't design any of the Calvin Klein bags at PVH. We design it over at G3. So and there's so many conglomerates like G3 and like PPI Group that buys names and stuff like that from brands so that they can take certain parts, whether it be handbags, accessories, jewelry, sleepwear.
And then your handbags end up in Costco, in Walmart, in places that you originally didn't imagine.
Guilty. I sell to Costco. I sell to Walmart. I sell to Amazon. A lot of my stuff you can find in Ross and Burlington.
Yep, exactly. And a lot of you've sold off your rights. So
you sold off your rights. So now that's why you see all this. You can see it's in Ross. I like Ross.
But a lot of
the names, like some stuff,
your name is now attached to that, and sometimes people don't understand that you've sold it, so you have no control. They just know that that's Michael Kors. They know that that's,
and the percentage you get off of that is very minimal. It's after you sell it.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
All right. Sorry. Now let's hop into like the second part of the episode. Ooh, we got like 10 minutes. Ooh, girl, we slipping through though. We good.
Okay.
How important are NDAs, and do you recommend that like designers having them when working business to business?
Right. I wanted to add, so that question, when you mean business to business, this was about like custom apparel because
Both. So so I did contracts with like custom apparel to protect myself, but then two different things. So people make me sign NDAs because I'm like the middleman when people bring like their designs to me. But then there's other people who don't sign NDAs. But I can't take an NDA to like one of my manufacturers because they think they're amateur. So like for me, I got it, but at the end of the day, like I do like the first round. I'm doing your pattern maker, I'm doing your sample maker, I'm doing your fabric sourcing, but I'm passing that off for mass production to my factories. I'm not making my factory sign an NDA.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was just like, how important? Do you think it's super duper important to have it? But I was reading somewhere that most manufacturers, like if you don't have like a person like me, like a middleman, they don't want to deal with you. If you ask them to sign the NDA, they're like, what?
Yeah.
It just makes you like an amateur. That's from I read that.
That's real. That's usually what happens. Your factories, manufacturers, they're not really interested in signing your NDA unless it's someone that's really doing something technical for you. Like if they're doing like artwork, then definitely go ahead and sign an NDA. Like, and that's the thing. You can find them on those websites that I was talking about before that I'm blanking on. I don't know why. But you can just find like a basic template and just give that off to like an individual. But if you try to take that to a factory, a company, it don't work. It ain't gonna work. It's not. And then even like I had a client go back and forth with NDAs with her 3D manufacturer. So she was 3D printing clothing and they were going back and forth on NDA agreements. Like you sign mine, sign mine.
I get them. Like when I get them, I don't mind. I don't care. But it's like, girl, I can make whatever I want.
Yeah. I just
so sometimes it slows up their process because like they don't have it ready, but someone has advised them to make this person sign an NDA.
That's not
and sometimes I'm just like, I mean, whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna sign it with regardless or whatever. But I just think sometimes it just slows down the process because you don't have it together. Then
I don't think it's that
I have consultations, and then sometimes they want me to sign the NDA.
Oh, for telling them their business ideas.
I'm like,
to you?
I don't care. I don't.
No, the fashion industry really don't care that much about NDAs.
No,
NDAs are mostly for maybe celebrities or like
don't be talking about it. But like for me, I'm just like
fashion.
I've seen it all. Like you may think you're bringing something to me that's new, and your ideas are, I've seen it all. But there's a way to finesse and change and make these ideas creative. And to you. But as far as like you making me sign an NDA, I'll do it. Not a problem. I'm a team player here at the end of the day. But I'm always just like, oh, here go another one of these.
I think people just always people think that their idea is like the best idea ever, so
and I want you guys to think that, but I just want you to come prepared. If it's not me, you might go to someone else and they might not want to work with you. So I'm a little bit more easygoing. I don't really care. But there are some people that's like they will 86 you at the door. They won't answer your email. None of that, because to them you're an amateur and you don't know what you're talking about. And that's why I do the consultation, so I can figure out where you're going with it. But
Perfect. Yeah, that's the proper answer.
Now, for designers that start with custom apparel, do you recommend that they have clients sign contracts, like when it comes to like, I think these, prom is a big thing. So prom and like wedding when you're doing custom, because I have heard some horror stories.
What are the horror stories?
And I've had one myself.
Oh no.
I had a bride back when I did custom apparel.
Because I was interested in.
Let me tell you about it. So I had a bride, and it wasn't a dress from scratch. It was a dress that her mother wore when she got married.
Okay.
And the mom, they gave me the dress, and of course it was back in the 80s, so I had to dye it, and then I had to add all of this fullness to the bottom and stuff. So and they wanted me to add a beading to it too. So I took this very dress and I got it dyed and got it back to like original white. I added the beading to it. I added like the tools like that. I traveled back and forth between here and Chicago, to do fittings and stuff like that. And then when she got the dress, she said she couldn't fit it. Mind you, she could fit it at every fitting. But she couldn't fit it when she got the final.
At the last fitting?
She could fit it at the last, but she fitted it the whole time. Whole time she fit it. Then all of a sudden she couldn't fit it. And she sued me.
So she gave...
She did. But she didn't sue Collier 18. Collier 18 is the clothing line business. Yeah. She sued me. that didn't work
That
out too
didn't
well for
work
you.
out. Yeah,
She didn't
no.
know that. I ain't gonna say nothing. So she sued.
You sued the business.
She sued
because
me.
you were S corp at that time, right?
I've been S corp. Yeah.
No, you sued the business.
But she also signed a contract for me, and it's like my contract, I guess, was like null and void. I don't know, but she signed a contract in the beginning, like, be very active in the fittings. Like if something doesn't feel right, say something, speak up. Every time it was fine. So when
perfect.
So of course when I got served, pretty freaking shocked.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what in the hell? It caught me off guard, but it had my name on it, and then she tried to go after. I had a job at the time, and she was trying to go after.
Because you signed the contract, you probably signed it with your name.
But no, she signed my contract.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. That's like I gave her a contract. Anytime
and
I get cut,
it was in the name of the business.
So I thought, like, how could she sue me when we have a contract in place to say that I don't give refunds back?
Right.
So I'm not giving you a refund. First of all, you didn't pay for me to travel back and forth to Chicago. You paid for the dress, and then the amount that she sued me for was more than the doggone dress.
Right.
So I was just taking it back. Of course, she lost, but she tried to take me on Judge Judy.
Yeah.
I got the paperwork from Judge Judy,
make sense.
and I was just like, what? You signed a contract that says I don't give back money. And we did go back and forth via text and email and stuff like that when she was trying to get a refund, but no, I spent my time working on it. It is not my fault that it did not fit. Like if you get, I never changed the fit of the dress. That's the thing. I never changed it.
The fit.
I never changed the fit. I added beading. I changed the color, and even once the color was changed, because I'm thinking maybe it was some shrinkage within the dyeing process. No, because she tried it on after that, and it was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was up with Sis, but Sis tried to sue me. So
definitely.
I just thought it was like how she even got that far in this whole legal process when she signed a contract from me.
Oh, how she got that far.
I was kind of confused by that, but I mean, nonetheless, it worked out in my favor.
Yeah,
but
it sure did.
It did, but I was like, but do you think it's super duper important to have
definitely
people sign a contract for custom apparel?
I understand. Yeah, I understand the question now. Yes, definitely. And I think it works when you're even just like a graphic design or like an artist, because I saw one of the questions was from an artist who did artwork for a company, and then later that company went and put that artwork on clothing. The contract's done. Offer, acceptance. Contract requires an offer and acceptance. Exactly. An offer
I
and
saw
money.
that one too. I was just like, you can't go backwards.
You can't go backwards. You already did the work. Past consideration, like you already did the work.
Right.
They already paid you for the work. It's done.
But isn't that the point? That's like, I have somebody do a logo and I pay them to do the logo. Of course I'm going to use the logo for something.
To do something.
It would be weird for them to come back like, hey, I want to get some money off that. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work like that. And if you wanted it to, you should have put it in a contract.
Exactly.
So everything, especially with this situation, I'm so glad you had a contract.
Yes, I did.
Because a lot of people don't think, even seeing that comment, I was like, oh, a lot of people don't know that you need to get everything together in a contract. And once it had the no refund, I mean, people take contracts. I'm not sure what she found within your contract to try to go to court.
But she had my name. Like, she had my name. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe she was trying to use like a clause, like a loophole kind of thing.
Basically, she kept, but her defense was it didn't fit. She couldn't wear it. She had to buy a whole new dress, and she wanted me to pay for the whole new dress. Right. So it was like,
but it was fitting through.
What is that?
No.
What is that thing that people sue you for? But it's like emotional distress.
Does she suffer any physical emotional distress?
I don't.
Because even for that claim, you need some actual showing of like suffering, like you was in the hospital.
Right. Like, I was just so. And then when I told the people at Judge Judy, because they did contact me, I'm like, well, she signed the contract. They're like, we don't get you to Judge Judy. She tried to take me to Judge Judy because I got the paperwork and stuff, and I got phone calls, and I'm like, I don't even understand how this is even get into Judge Judy, these little civil cases, because she signed a contract. And when I said that, the lady was on the phone, I'm like, oh yeah, we wouldn't be able to do that. Exactly. So I didn't understand. Judge Judy was in California, so they want to fly us out there to do the court case online, but like the thing was filed in Chicago. So I was just like, when I started, she must have went on LinkedIn and found my current business, and then she tried to get my wages garnished. She went far, sis. She tried to get the wages garnished.
We gotta talk about this.
But the funny thing is, I am a consultant. Even though I was working full time at the time, where the place where I was working full time, I was still a consultant. So I filed a 1099 at the end of the year. They don't have no payroll system where they can garnish my wages. It don't work like that. And then even that's under a different business.
True. Right, because you're a consultant. Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
So not a chance. I thought it was interesting. I'm like, oh, she's going the extra mile.
Oh, this is
she's
crazy.
going overboard. But I was like, girl, you ain't gonna touch my money. And she never got a dime. And that was like 3 years ago.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Like 3 years ago. Sorry, I'm sorry that it didn't work out. And I think I wrote that in the email. I apologize, all that good stuff.
Right,
Sorry, but
right.
you signed a contract. You was supposed to do everything on the contract, and I never changed a fitted address, and that's what I'm sticking to. And it is what it is. And I had somebody after that who tried. That's another reason I feel like I kind of stepped back from custom because I was just over it. It was the amount of people that come back after after they were stuff. I've had people come back after they were stuff like, oh, well, the dress ripped or something like that. And I'm just like, did it rip when I gave it to you? Did you step on it? Especially
the transaction
prom
is done.
Because these girls is like, you know, very little grace. And when you're wearing some of these ball gowns, you got to have some. So if you at prom and you pop locking and dropping, you might, especially with tulle and mesh, tulle and mesh, these gowns, you can't be doing all that.
Those are very delicate.
And I have a lot of girlfriends that are in the custom world. A lot of them do proms and weddings. They have stories too, like people try to sue them or did sue them. So we all have those similar ones, but some of them didn't have contracts to start. So the contract wave, I was on it. Like as soon as I had and I had it before that. I got the contract when I did the S corp because I just like, when I do custom stuff, I got to be able to protect myself. I don't do refunds.
I'm glad.
And then people, I have a lot of friends that I gave them my contracts and they copied and pasted things and added their own stuff in there. And now I hope all the girls work with contracts. Now I know most of them are, but if you haven't, you need to have one.
It's just easy. It's so easy to get a basic template online. Maybe tweak a little bit of words here and there, but they're out there. So that's what I'm saying. Like you can just find it and protect yourself. Why not? Definitely.
Now, can you discuss like copyright infringement and an example of when this occurred in the industry? The first thing that came to my mind was like Dapper Dan and Gucci back in the day. That was copyright infringement.
Was it?
I feel like it was because he was using the Gucci fabric with the logos on there to make stuff, and that's how they but that's how they shut him down in the first place. So is there another time where that was used? I was thinking about the example you gave as far as like with YSL and Christian Louboutin with that red, but is that copyright? No, that's trademark. Okay, that's trademark. So copyright infringement would be if someone was taking your logo and using it. So basically what Dapper Dan was doing.
And like what Chinese vendors
that's all copyright infringement.
That's copyright infringement.
Okay,
and I was saying that it's very hard to find copyright infringement in fashion world because it's very hard to copyright things in fashion world. So it will be definitely for like a logo, a monogram. That's when you're talking about copyrights. And you could also think about maybe graphic T-shirts when you have like a celebrity's face on the T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, there's the photo of the celebrity, which is the photographer's copyright. They own that photo. But then there's the celebrity's likeness within the photo. So maybe the celebrity owns their own likeness, or maybe the estate, like if it's Michael Jackson, he's a deceased. He's on the shirt, the estate owns it. So that's when sometimes you have some copyright issues. And on other times you can have copyright issues is usually kind of cleared up with fair use. The one that's jumping at me is like there was these doggy toys. There's these dog toys that copied Louis Vuitton and they call them Chewy Vuitton. And copyright that gets settled out because it's parody. So a lot of times copyright can get settled out if you're using a name in a parody way, and if the customer of the original isn't the same customer of the next. So like a dog toy isn't the same customer as a woman buying Louis Vuitton. Absolutely. So like you don't really have a lot of copyright issues in fashion. Unless it's just taking the logo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. People. That's we talked about copyright. We talked about patent. We talked about trademarks. So I hope you took your notes there. So what would you say is one of the biggest legal challenges for like facing the fashion industry like today? Like what's something that's like just common that you feel like it could be better?
I wish it could be better, but honestly, it can't. We are at this stage where like the way that fashion just works in general is just it's cyclical. And there's nothing new under the sun. That's why things just always get repeated over and over. And most of the times people think that they're protecting something really new and unique, but it's usually just something of repeat. And fashion, like the way that society works, copyright is actually within our Constitution. They protect copyright comes from our Constitution. They want artists to be able to create artwork to progress so society can move forward. So the way that the court system is now, most of the designs that you have aren't going to be protected unless you're actually like drawing them out. Like, you know, it's hard. So fashion kind of is just like a free for all, unfortunately.
So this, I do want to ask this question that they have here. They're saying, how would you classify? Okay, so you know what I said that Dapper Dan took the fabrics and stuff like that, and he made jackets. So back in the day, they sued him for copyright infringement. They shut him down and took all his doggone money. So when they came back, Gucci made a jacket, Dapper Dan's design. And
I saw that.
She wore it to, what's that, Made in America in Philly. And then when Gucci remade it and stuff like that, they made the exact same design. And then people went crazy on social media, of course, and was just like, y'all need to pay homage to Dapper Dan. That's his design. Right. So I guess her question is, how do you classify that? So he made it first, but he got sued by the old cast for copyright infringement. Right. And then they came back and made his design, and then social media went crazy, and then they hired him. But they didn't hire him. They gave him the rights to use the Gucci label how he wanted to. Because that's what he does now. Like so he don't really work for Gucci now. He's a partner of Gucci, which is why he still has his retail shop in Harlem. So now it's like,
it's a license that they did.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they were able to work. Yeah, it was. Because the fact that they still went and hired him after the fact, that means that they used it without permission to begin with.
Exactly.
So, yes, that would be copyright infringement, because technically, as soon as you create something, as soon as a work is fixed, meaning that it exists, even in the voice, like if you record a song and you put it in your voice memos, it's fixed, it exists. You have a copyright in that song. You just don't have it registered, but you still do have some rights.
So they stole from each other.
Yeah, so they stole.
So he stole the logos from them, and then they stole the design from him, which they just decided, let's just do business together and let's just cut this feud out. So they
did steal from him. It was copyright infringement for stealing from him and then going forward. So that's why they must have worked something out together, obviously, that arrangement to make everything better, and then that would be like a license agreement.
Yep. Interesting. So to answer your question, all right. I said what is really at stake with independent designers copy, and I don't even feel like I feel like we answered that already.
We did.
Scoop. All right. So far I feel like you have a lot of achievements and goals. So what do we expect to see from you within the next 5 years? Do you want to start taking on a lot of clients and like get the web series like completely popping? Like, what are the goals?
Definitely, yeah. So you basically said it. I feel like 2019, I've done a lot, surprisingly, in the last year. I had to take a break because I was graduating law school and passing the bar. So I had like a chunk of time that was gone. But I did put out my own fashion line, so I want to see that continue. I was also even thinking of trying to get my fashion line into like a market, like Dolls Kill. You know what Dolls Kill is? How they sell multiple different brands under their store. So maybe even that. Okay. I'm thinking, so I just want to make my brand bigger. I want to do the Alien in the Courtroom series. Please check me out on YouTube, Alien in the Courtroom series.
I'll put all that in the show notes as well.
Yeah, we're gonna do. Sorry, we're gonna make more videos. We're wrapping up. Make more videos, and I do want to have to like do more podcasts, travel, conferences. I want to be known as like that Black fashion lawyer that you can talk to, and the videos are animated, so I really want to make it easy to understand. I want to be like the Black fashion lawyer.
Yes, so I'm gonna put all of Jaleesa's information in the show notes, as well as like if someone wanted to reach out for legal advice, I'll put all that information in the show notes. Do you just want to throw out like your social medias?
Yeah, it's Alien in the Room on Instagram, on Twitter, and just like you can find my shop through the bio in that way too. So Alien in the Room. And the room is DA room.
Got it. So guys, just want to say thanks for tuning in. I just want to acknowledge our sponsors again, Adorn NYC in Harlem for all of your beauty, body, and hair needs, and 620 Style for your clothing needs. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you, and as I say, stay black. Peace out.
Bye.